You know, when everyone talks about Mat Armstrong's rebuilds, they always miss one key thing. And it's not small either. It's the one detail that completely changes how you see everything he's built. Because on the surface, it looks obvious. His dad is a mechanic. Tony is always around. And every time things start getting serious, he shows up. So people didn't even think twice. They just ran with it. That's why it all works. But that right there, that's where the whole story starts getting misunderstood. Because the more you actually watch what's going on, the less that explanation makes sense. Tony in the background, helping out, giving advice, stepping in when things get difficult. Yeah, it's easy to assume he's the reason everything keeps coming together. And over time, that idea didn't just stay as a thought. It turned into one of the biggest talking points around the channel. Was he just supporting? Or was he the real force behind these rebuilds? Now at first, that sounds like a simple question. But once you really start looking deeper, that's where everything begins to shift. And before we go further, if you enjoy this kind of breakdown, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Because this gets way more interesting. Because yes, Tony has spent his whole life as a mechanic. That part is true. And obviously, that kind of experience matters. But what people thought that meant, and what it actually meant, are two completely different things. As Mat's channel kept growing, that assumption didn't slow down. It spread. People started repeating it like it was fact, until it became one of those things everyone just accepted without questioning. But then, Tony finally addressed it. And what he said didn't just answer the question. It flipped the entire story. Because this was never about one person carrying the other. What was really happening was way more balanced than people realized. Tony brought decades of real garage experience, fixing cars long before YouTube ever existed. Mat brought something completely different into the mix: filming, editing, content strategy, and even his own mechanical experience built through years of trial and error. So when you see them working together on camera, it feels natural for a reason. Each person is handling a different side of the process. No one is replacing the other. They're filling in what the other doesn't have. And that balance is exactly why everything works so well. But even after people started understanding that, the curiosity didn't stop. It just changed direction. Because then, another question started coming up. What about the garage? Did having access to Tony's workshop make everything easier than it looked? Free tools, free space, free parts. That idea alone made some people feel like the journey wasn't as difficult as it seemed. And to be fair, that's not a crazy question. Because anyone who knows car builds knows how expensive things can get. So naturally, people started asking, would the channel still have grown the same way without that advantage? But once again, that assumption didn't really match reality. Because according to Tony, Mat didn't just have things handed to him. He worked through it, like anyone else would. Even during the years when BMX was his main focus, he still had part-time jobs. Money wasn't just showing up, he was earning it. Working at the garage, doing side jobs, finding ways to fund both his life and his projects. And this is where most people got it completely wrong. They confused guidance with dependence. From the outside, they can look the same. But in reality, they tell two completely different stories. Tony made it clear, he wasn't doing the work for his son. Mat was just growing faster, because he was in the right environment. And that one detail changes everything. Because once you realize that Mat is the one making decisions, handling the setbacks, and actually doing the work, the success stops looking questionable. It starts making sense. Of course, the builds improved quickly. When you spend years around workshops, tuning culture, and constant mechanical conversations, you start picking things up naturally, long before you even pick up tools yourself. That foundation had already been building quietly for years. But just when people started to understand that, the builds got bigger. And that's when everything shifted again. Because now the question wasn't, did he learn this? Anymore. It became something bigger. Is this getting too advanced for him to handle alone? And that's where things really started to change. The projects weren't just builds anymore. They became pressure tests. The garage started to feel more like a real family space, where problems are solved step by step. And honestly, That's what makes it so easy to keep watching, because a lot of automotive channels show perfection. Perfect builds, perfect outcomes. But here, you actually feel the process. When something goes wrong, you see it. Mat's frustration. Tony staying calm. That small pause before a new idea comes in. Those moments are sometimes more interesting than the repair itself. That's what gives the channel something different. It doesn't feel staged. It feels real. And Tony's presence plays a big role in that. He doesn't take over. He balances things. Mat brings the energy. Tony slows things down just enough to make the next move clearer. And that contrast is exactly why people stay watching. People come for the cars, but they stay for that interaction. And interestingly, the imperfections might be the most important part of everything. Because if everything worked perfectly, you'd lose the tension, the delays, the moments where things almost fall apart. And those are the moments that make the final result feel real. Tony strengthens that in a very natural way. He steps in when needed, keeps things grounded, then lets the build continue. And that balance is what makes the whole channel feel authentic. Then came a moment that shifted things emotionally. The 2025 Aston Martin DBX project. This wasn't just another rebuild. Mat chose a flood-damaged DBX because it was Tony's dream car. And suddenly, the story wasn't just about fixing a car anymore. It became personal. A way of saying thank you for years of guidance, support, and early influence. For once, the emotion behind the build mattered more than the car itself. And when that reveal happened, it felt like the peak of everything Tony had contributed over the years. But at the same time, it also felt like the end of a chapter, because what came next was on a completely different level. By late 2025, the cars entering the workshop had changed. The scale was different, the risks were bigger, and the margin for error was almost gone. Then came Miami. A wrecked Bugatti Chiron Persport. A car most workshops wouldn't even attempt to touch. Now sitting right in front of them. And just like that, everything changed again. This wasn't just about fixing cars anymore. It became about whether the workshop itself could keep up. Because at that level, every move matters. Every mistake costs time, money, and credibility. And just when that pressure wasn't enough, another challenge showed up. A crashed Ferrari F430, with its own hidden problems waiting to surface. Now it's not just mechanical anymore, it's strategic. How far can they really push this before things start going wrong? Because at this stage, this isn't beginner rebuilding anymore. This is rare cars, complex systems, even Bugatti-level engineering becoming part of the process. And that tells you everything about how far things have come. But what really keeps people watching isn't the final reveal. It's what happens in between. Every build brings something unexpected, something nobody planned for. And instead of backing away, they lean into it every single time. That's why this doesn't feel like normal car content anymore. It feels like watching limits get pushed in real time. Because now the real question isn't just, can the car be fixed? It's, how far are they willing to go to prove that it can? And if you've made it this far, make sure you hit subscribe. Because the next phase of this rebuild might be the one that either proves everything or completely changes it again.